Okay, so welcome. This class today is going to be on how to create a landing page within Command. You can use that for a variety of things. My by far most common use that I use it for personally is if I'm running an ad like on Facebook or Instagram, I will create a landing page so that it then directs them to that page when they click on the ad. So I'll be showing you how to do that today. Those of you who are here, feel free to just jump in at any point, ask me questions. I'm totally fine being interrupted. So, great. So we're going to start here just on our main page of Command. And we are going to go down to this very bottom consumer. And then you'll see up here we have agent site pages selected right now. This is going to be anything that's actually going to link to your website, which should show you right here. I don't want to do that. We're going to make a standalone landing page today. We're going to go over here to landing pages. And then you can see I have several that I've made in the past. This little green toggle button here, that means that it's active. So if someone were to click on this link or type in this link, they could go to that. If it's not active, I have it toggled off. And I mean, I don't really see a reason to go in and toggle them all off. I could, if someone ever wanted to go back and see those pages, they can. I don't know. I don't think it really matters one way or the other, but you do want to make sure that it's green if you want it to be active and you want people to see it. So in order to create one, we're going to go over here to our upper right-hand corner and click Create a New Page. Again, as a landing page, we're not doing it on the agent site. As a landing page, create page. First of all, I like to edit it up here, the name of it. I have a listing going live today, but I haven't made it public yet. So I'm just going to kind of tailor this to that. So I have that saved as my title now. And this is just going to be something that I will be able to reference so that I know which page this is. No one else is going to see that. Okay, now over here we have widgets. So these are all, if a widget is like a pre-made thing, like the developers at KW made these, and they have pros and cons. So pros are you can make a really nice, sharp looking website in like 5 minutes. Cons are they're not as editable as if you were, I don't know, if you were like a web developer, or if you knew HTML or JavaScript, whatever really well, you could make it look however you wanted to. These are set, they're going to look a certain way, and there's only a couple things you can edit. So that's pros and cons of that. For me, like I said, I have a listing going live, so I'm going to make this landing page about the listing. I'm just kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone here, teaching you guys and also doing my homework a little bit. So what I usually do for this is I will drag over a branded header. And this all pulls from your Keller Williams marketing profile within Command. So as long as you have that set up, this should look good. And for me, I do, so it does look good. On the next page, we'll be able to edit that if it's not looking exactly how you want it. So don't worry about that right now. The next thing that I like to do is drag over a listing. So you'll see here, they just have a default listing. So this 300 Hilltop View, they've used that for years. I don't know if this place even exists. But this is just kind of the placeholder so you can see how the page will look. So we've got a picture, some information, basic information here, and it pulls all of this from the MLS. So I'll show you in the next step how we change that, how we access it from the MLS. This, it just pulls from marketing remarks. These are all of the pictures that are uploaded to the MLS. In this case, it's just one because it's just dummy. So you can see it kind of goes in an automatic slideshow there. More details about the property, where it's located, and that's it as far as this one. What you can also do is, and I don't always do these, sometimes I do, a market snap. That will give us neighborhood trends within this certain area. For me, I don't really want to use this because the listing that I have is a little bit more rural. So this neighborhood data that it pulls is from the app Nextdoor. and the next door neighborhoods are created by people who live there. So you find that they're a lot more concentrated in cities, and the farther out you get, it gets a little bit patchier. So I don't believe mine even has one. So I'm not going to use this feature in this one. I just kind of wanted to show that to you. And it will just pull statistics there. So what's active in that neighborhood right now, what has sold recently, and they give you statistics on that. Like I said, I don't want to use this one, so let's see. Sometimes the trash can can be a little wonky, but oh, there it is. Get rid of that. Okay. If you had a video, which I've done videos for my listings before, and you just wanted to feature that, you can drag that over. You can type in a headline here. Again, we can edit all these widgets on the next. We'll get down to this particular widget in a minute. So you can edit that and add that there. I don't have a video for this one, so I'm going to delete that. And then I do like to put a lead form at the bottom. So if people click the ad, it takes them to this page. And then at the very bottom, maybe they're interested, maybe they don't have a realtor. If they do have a realtor, that realtor is probably going to reach out to me and say, hey, when can we schedule a listing or schedule a showing? But with this lead form, if they don't have a realtor, maybe, then they can reach out to me there. Some of these other things you might want to use on different, like if you're using a landing page for a different purpose, maybe you just want a page where people can write reviews for you. If that's the case, you would want to use this testimonial capture form. And I'm just going to drag some of these over. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. So that looks like this. So again, you can edit this. It says widget not configured. Thank you for being a valued client. To help me continue to provide the best service that you and so many others have come to trust, blah, 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 leave a review. So we can edit this on the next page. And I don't want that for my purpose today, but I just want to show you some things that you could do, that you could drag over. Your local expert, again, that just pulls from my marketing profile. This is my biography that I put in there. I don't know when the last time was that I updated that, so maybe I should. My license number, about me, phone, email, download my app. So that can be a nice little thing that you maybe put at the bottom of something. Maybe if you're wanting to make a review page, maybe you do that testimonial capture form and then this at the end, like, oh, and also about me in case you forgot. Download my app. You could just make an entire page about that. This is supposed to scroll down, I believe, but it's just this download app button. And you can see if you look in the, I can't go and point to it because it disappears, but down in the very, very bottom left corner of my screen, it has a little little URL there, and that has my specific code, that KWDAHF7W. If somebody clicks that, it's going to take them to the KW consumer app, but it's going to be branded to me. So it automatically does that for you, which is very nice. But I don't want that, so I'm deleting it. What other things can I show you here? Legal footer. If you want to put that in there, you can. I never really have. Suppose I could. And then these links, again, if they're set up in your marketing profile, you can see at the bottom left, it says facebook.com/Heather Huber Homes LLC. Same thing with Instagram. YouTube, I don't have 100 subscribers yet, so that's why you get this little link at the end of it. So mine is just a bunch of random alphanumeric characters. And then there's my LinkedIn. So yeah, maybe I will keep that actually. I never really have, but why not? What else? Agent branding, I think, is the only thing I haven't shown you. And that's just, this is my little logo that my sister-in-law made for me. Just a little bit about me. I don't love that. I'm just not going to use it. So that's it as far as widgets. I'm just going to close this so it takes up less space. You can also put in content blocks. So that's going to be either an image or text. So occasionally I will run ads on Facebook for listings that aren't mine in hopes of attracting buyers. And obviously I contact the listing agent first and say, hey, are you okay with me running this ad? I'll run an ad. I will usually put this header, this listing, maybe that neighborhood thing that I showed you, and this interested, let's talk thing at the bottom. But I will also drag over a text block because if it's not my listing, I have to give the listing agent credit. So listing courtesy of whomever at whatever brokerage. And, you know, I'm not trying to hide it. So maybe I'll make that size 5. Okay, just so that that's in there and I'm being upfront, hey, this isn't my listing, this is somebody else's. So you can do that. You can put text in there. If you know some basic HTML, you can easily enter that in there. For instance, if I want this to be centered, center, and at the end, I'm going to do a backslash center. Should stop the centering. See, and then it centers it. So if you know any HTML, or I mean, Google HTML things, you can just put that right in there because it reads the code. Another thing you can do is images. I don't know what image you would want to put there, but you can. And you can either drop these from your computer or you can actually just upload an image. Add to list. Where did we go? I have no need for an image at the moment though, and I also have no need for this. So I'm going to get rid of those two. Okay, everything else looks good for me on that. I'm not going to configure them just yet because I also want to show you some of these features over here. So this is what I currently have selected. This is what it defaults to, just what a computer view would look like. So if somebody opened this on a web browser, on a computer, this is what it's going to look like. If I click this, it's tablet view. So if somebody's looking at it on a tablet, see how it just kind of condenses it a little bit. And then if they're looking at it on a phone, it removes some of the information because what you don't want is for it to be crowded and like stacked on top of each other. So then it looks bad. So it just takes out some things. So this is what it would look like. So it puts these all on top of each other instead of side by side. Just so that when people are scrolling, it makes for a better experience. Okay, any questions about this before I go and configure the widgets? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and click on that then, configure widgets, and it will say no listing selected. Well, what listing is it talking about? If you look up here, it says 2 through 4, or 2 out of 4. So it's actually, it has skipped this first one because it says this is all good to go, and has gone to the second of the 4 widgets that I put on there. Just to be thorough, I'm gonna click this back button so you can see this. If I wanted to put text, which I usually don't, except for examples, for when I'm teaching, that's why there's that drop down. If you want to put a header, it will appear right here, but it won't appear until you click save and apply. So there we go. Here's a header. If I put that in phone view, it just disappears. But I don't want that, so I'm just going to put a space there. Actually, maybe I do. Maybe I'll put rustic country living. That sounds cheesy. I'll probably change that later, but for now I'll leave that. Okay, so that looks good to me. There we go. Rustic country living. Awesome. So now I click this arrow up here to go to my next widget. For that, I have to select a listing. Well, my listing isn't up there because I haven't made it live yet. So I'm going to have to go in and change this later anyway. But what you would do is just type in the property address right here. Okay, so here's one that I have under contract. So it's autofilling. 123 Elmwood. That's popular. Okay, here's Grand Rapids. I'll select this one. It's taking some time there. Come on. There we go. Sorry, that took a long time for that little thing to go away. So I selected this listing, and this is the main picture that is provided with from the MLS. So the header image that they're talking about is this image right here. So which one do I want to feature? That's not going to be a slideshow. It's just, this is the house. I'm fine with that first one. Click save and apply. You can also upload an image if you had an image that you would prefer. There we go. So that's it. And it just pulled all of this right from that. So you see it's no longer in Austin, Texas, or wherever it was, it's in Grand Rapids. And then these are the remarks that well, all of this information is what the listing agent has put in. Here's a little slideshow, and people, if they're impatient, they can just sit here and click. All of the info is just auto-populated. So that makes it really, really easy. Okay, so I think I'm good with that one. I will just continue on my merry way here. The only thing that you can edit in here is this interested, let's talk. And if I'm advertising somebody else's, I might say interested, or maybe this wasn't the right fit. Because especially if I'm advertising like $1 million listing, but I don't care if I get, you know, a $200,000 buyer or a $500,000 buyer who just happened to be looking at this. I don't want them to think that I wouldn't take them on as a client if it's not this listing, right? So interested, or maybe this wasn't the right fit. And then if you do, again, this will accept HTML. So BR means break, so it should enter it down. I think, oh, rusty on my HTML. And I'll say either way, let's chat. Let's see if that works. Yes, okay, so that break worked, but it's not centered. What's up? Was somebody saying something?
Can I come in the bathroom?
Hang on, let me go. Muting.
Here I come.
Okay. So I'm going to put a center in there. And then ending center. Let's see if that works better. Great. Interested, or maybe this wasn't the right fit. Either way, let's chat. Cool, that looks good to me. So then my last widget here, it's nice because if you hadn't already filled in your social media channels here, it has that availability right here. So you don't have to go back into the marketing profile. So my Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, those are all good. I don't really ever use my LinkedIn. I probably should more. I'm just gonna click delete on that. And that will disappear from here. Twitter, I have one. I don't ever use it, so I'm just gonna leave that. Got this logo, cool. Market center name, yep. Phone number, okay, that's all right. Save and apply. And see, now that I removed the URL for this LinkedIn link, it removed it from there. So now people only have the option of Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Conversely, if I were to go Twitter, H. Huber Homes, I don't know if that's even, I made one once upon a time and I never use it. Okay, so then I put Twitter back in there. But again, I never use that. I don't really want people going there, so I'm gonna get rid of that. Okay, so that looks good to me. Like I said, when I actually use this, I will go in and change some things because this is not the listing that I'm advertising. So I'm just going to save the landing page. Am I sure I want to save it as a draft? Yes, I don't know why there's an error message for that. Okay, so now if I go to landing pages, it by default takes you back to agent site pages. Don't know why. We want to go to landing pages. So I have this saved as a draft. I don't have a URL because I haven't published it yet. So this would be like in my case right now where I just maybe wanted to get some work done on it and I'm not going to publish it until later. Perfect for that. I can come back, all my work will be saved. But let's say that I do want to publish it. Click edit here, these three dots, edit. Takes me right back there. This is the page that I already had set up. So if I want to publish it, publish, yes, update it. Again, I have to go to landing pages. There it is. So this status, this little toggly thing, means that it's active. If I click that, it's saying, do you want to set it to inactive? Yes. So that means nobody can go there now. If I click it again, yes, now it's active. Once I have this, it assigns it a URL. And mine is always this Heather-Huber/669324. I just assume that that's probably the agent, like it's designated to a certain agent, so in this case, me. But I can change this back part here. If I go over here now, you'll notice before it was just edit and delete. Now I also have deactivate and change URL. I'm going to change the URL. And it really doesn't matter because probably nobody's going to go in and actually type this out. They're going to find a link and click on it somewhere. But I can just be a little particular sometimes, so I like to have it look nice. So I'm just going to put the address in there and create. So now this is an active page. If you were to type this in on your computer right now, you could go to that and you'd be able to see it. I don't, however, have any links set up to it. Like I said, what I will do is go in and create an ad, which then has a link to this. So I'm not too worried about it being active right now because unless somebody happens to type in all of these characters, they're never going to see it. But I have it as a link right here for me. So if I click on it, there it is. Little slideshow going. This is provided by Google, so it, you know, they can navigate just like they would in Google on that. Interested, or maybe this wasn't the right fit. Obviously, since I'm not advertising somebody else's listing, I don't want to do that, so I'll go back in and take that out. They do have to do this CAPTCHA, is that what it's called, reCAPTCHA, when they send me something, so I know it's not spam. And then just a little bit more information. And that is it. So, what questions do you have?
Okay, Heather.
Oh, there we go. Hey, what's up?
So when you do your landing page and then you want to put it, say, wherever, whether it's on your website or on Facebook or whatever, how do you get it those locations?
Well, you just have to direct something to this link. So what I could do here is I'm just going to highlight this. Whoops, well, let me highlight. There we go. Highlight that. And I'm going to hold down Control C, or if you're on an Apple, it would be Command C. And let me just, you can't see it, but my little zoom bar is up at the top here. It's getting in my way. There we go. So if I go to Facebook, my friends are going to be confused in a minute here. All I have to do then is I can right click. Maybe I can't. Maybe it doesn't want me to paste into there. Okay, if I do Control V, Command V. So this is the link for that. Okay. So there's a little preview right there. I can post it. I'm going to delete it immediately because everyone's going to be like, what are you doing? But now you can see I just posted that to my personal page.
And what about if you wanted to put it in your website? Like your review, the different things that you can do as landing pages?
Oh, yeah. And yeah, are you talking about making a review and putting it on your website?
Yeah.
If you want to put something on your website, you're not going to go to landing pages.
Okay.
Instead, you're going to go to agent site pages.
Okay.
And if we go to create a new page, then we would go on my agent site, not as a landing page. And then the editor is exactly the same. So you do the same thing where you just drag things over and then edit them with the configure widgets button. And then, well, let me just save changes. And then it asks, would you like to continue to site and app settings to publish your page? If you click yes, I'm going to click no just because I made a little dummy thing there. If you click yes, it takes you to site and app settings, agent site pages. And then here is where you can add it, you can name it. If I click on one of these, you can say what the title is, what the URL slug is. So that's that back part here. And then in a search engine optimization description. So if it appeared in Google, this is what it would say there.
Okay.
So yeah, basically the same thing. It's just make sure that you select agent site pages as opposed to landing pages. Landing pages are going to stand alone separately out in the universe of the internet somewhere. Agent site pages are all going to be connected to your site.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Okay, well then, thank you so much for attending today. And if you need anything, let me know, 734-776-7742 or Heather Huber at kw.com.